Hey everyone, welcome back to the third season of the Geek podcast.
Oh, there we go.
Season 3, episode 1. This will actually make it really easy for me to remember when I upload the video and I don't have to fucking go back all the way.
Yeah,
To just
exactly.
be like, hey, what episode am I in right now?
Yeah, so today we're actually be talking about a subject you guys all love, which is dating apps. We
No
know.
one knows who you are.
Oh yeah, no one actually knows who I am. So this is Ori, by the way. I'm Kush's friend. I'm just joining this podcast. Probably going to be in some future ones. Just want to test it out, see what it's like. So
Just
yeah.
so you guys know, I'm going to be eating like a little bit of frittata and some garlic bread, so you might be hearing me eat shit throughout the video.
All right, here we go.
Alright, what do we want to talk about? Let's go.
So we're gonna be talking about Tinder today and dating apps in general. So we're just gonna be I'm gonna be asking Kush some questions because I'm new on the dating scene, and so I just want Kush's input on basically how these dating profiles should be made, in order to maximize their success. As weird as it sounds. So I have a few questions here for
That was
you.
a very
Analytical.
financial talk. Like you just, well, are you looking for like higher ROI on your fucking like on your dating apps?
It's asset management, man. What can I do? What can I do?
What's your risk to reward ratio in this shit?
It's asset management, man. It's all yeah. I mean, all right. Here we go. So my first question.
Yeah.
So pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of pictures do you want to put on your dating profile? And there's also the question: should I have people in my photos? I think personally, you shouldn't have anyone in the first one because people are obviously going to confuse
Never
you.
have a group first photo. 100% agree with that.
Okay, good. And then in terms of other photos, that you want to list, like I know that there's different situations you mentioned that you want to look, really kind in one photo, or all these other things. So
Yeah.
just wanted your
So,
take on that.
all right. First thing I need to state: this episode is not sponsored by Hinge. We have no sponsors. All right, no one fucking knows who we are. But also to like pre-state this is like this is just a fun topic that we came up with. Like we're not like good or anything like that. We're actually pretty terrible when it comes to dating apps. But
Yeah, yeah.
fuck it, who cares? Like you just talk about shit, and this is what this episode's gonna be about. Let's go into the thing. My idea. You want a wholesome photo. You don't want too many group photos. At the very most, out of 6 photos, if you have to pick one, I would say no more than 2, and I would try to keep it to one group photo.
Yeah, I'm a short guy, so I got to make sure that I don't have too many of my tall friends in there. I try to keep it, all the short guys with me. It's pretty nice.
That's actually a pretty good thing to keep in mind as well. Like it's perception at the end of the day.
Of course, yeah.
But you want one group photo, at least 2 to 3 like really solid like singular photos. You want a family photo in there. If a family photo comes off as a group photo, that's perfectly fine. So like as long as there's a little bit of wholesomeness to it or something like that. And then you also definitely want an action shot. You want to show that like it's not just like pictures of you sitting somewhere.
Okay.
You want something along the lines of like an interest that you're doing, something else you might have. Like I know you have like skydiving pictures or going with sharks or like jumping between hills or climbing something or whatever it may be. Like these are the kind of things that you want to have included in your profile.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely taken your advice on that. And also, of course, that one main profile photo, the portrait shot, right? Where you're just that one perfect photo. I only have one good photo of me, essentially. And it's that one that you took recently. So I'm going to have to hold on to that photo for the rest of my life. And even as I age, I'm just going to keep that. Like, even when I'm like, even when I look totally different, like I'll have a
42
beard.
years old,
Yeah.
Ori has a picture from when he's 22.
I'll have like a full beard, like white hair, but I'll still use that photo. So it's not bad. So we got photos down. Now let's talk about bio, right? So some people with very cliche stuff, they say like, oh, I'm 20 years young, live, laugh, love, ha 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 ha, 6,000 emojis, and people's, I guess their bios just range just based on what they're feeling and how they want to portray their personality. So I'll go through quickly and read my bio, which I know you actually helped me make, and I actually like it because it gets all those quick facts out there really fast. So we have looking for Mark Cuban and cut the cake in my 23rd. That's the first part of it. I love Mark Cuban. He's
I
a
didn't
great
put
guy.
that down. What the fuck?
Huh?
I didn't put that
No,
down.
no, you didn't put it down, but it's one of those things that you kind of helped me craft it a little bit.
Sure.
Next thing, I like playing sports, but know nothing about them. Very true. I don't know a lot about sports. I know the basics, obviously, but I feel like I had to throw that out there in case there's a super sports fan out there thinking I'm gonna, know everything about the Boston Red Sox, which I don't, unfortunately. And then 5'6", so feel free to wear high heels. Basically saying that just getting my height out there right away because, in all honesty, like that's something that girls definitely wonder when they match with someone on Tinder and they can't tell their height. So I think it's just better to get that out of the way. So that's my bio.
Are you inspired by Short King's anthem right now?
Yes. I'm just one of those short kings. Like what could I say? It's a great song, empowering all the short people out there. So if you're short and you're listening to this podcast, just know everything's gonna be all right, boys.
Listen to Short King's anthem by TMG.
Yeah, it's a great song. So now, what do you think are good aspects of someone's bio?
It depends. It highly depends on what you're trying to get out of it. If what you're looking for is something along the lines of more serious stuff, then you want a bio that's going to be honestly more about you and less about like you don't want something that's going to delve too much into your personality, because that's usually when the humorous part comes in, or like the stupid part or something like that. That's your personality. And then there's the stuff that you actually like or want or something along those lines.
Yeah.
If you're not quite sure what you're looking for, if you're just like, I just want to see what's out there or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go with more of something along the lines of your personality. If you do know what you're looking for, whatever it may be, then you want to delve into that aspect of it. So it could be something along the lines of like, this is who I am, this is what I'm looking for, not looking for this, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's no perfect way of writing a bio, because you could have a phenomenal bio to one person and then the other person might get just ridiculously bored by it.
That's true, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, your bio should be a reflection of like what you're to an extent looking for. It makes it a whole lot easier for someone to initiate a conversation. Also, have a fucking bio.
Yeah.
That's just sad to like.
I mean, just write some words. Literally, just like honestly, I'd rather have you just like take your hand, throw it on the keyboard and have some random letters than literally nothing. Like I don't know, like take your cat, put it on the keyboard. I don't know, throw something at the keyboard, like literally anything. Just write something. As your bio. That's it. I don't understand why people don't have bios. So yeah.
Holy shit, we're at like the 7-minute mark. So this actually might be a shorter episode.
That's pretty good though. I mean, we're talking about a lot right now. We're getting a lot out there. So let's see. What was the next thing I was gonna ask you? There's one last thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So, one of the most important things is once you finally get that match, you've set up your profile, you have your bio, everything's lit, everything's good. And then there's that first message, right, that you need to send. So, obviously, no one wants to respond to someone that just says, hey, smiley face emoji. So, what do you think's a good way to, essentially just, like, get that conversation going?
There's a 3-part system that I would say, to an extent, is, like, the best you can do from your side, and then it's entirely up to the other person.
We're both definitely in business. Like, do you hear the way we're talking? It's all right. It works out.
You kind of want to do it in this way, which is just that you have... Your first thing is to look at the other person's bio. You look at... Just like any other thing. If you're going to meet someone in person, you're going to try and read them, judge them, these particular things. You want to do something similar, using the person's bio, using the person's pictures. That's why it's supposed to say something about you. And if there's anything you think that you can connect on, then that's what you want to delve into. That is the easiest way to like actually make someone even give a shit about the fact that you've sent them a message, is like maybe have something along the lines of like, not if it's like something stupid like, oh, I love The Office, and then you're just like, oh, what's your favorite episode of The Office? No, fuck that. Like, see if there's anything Office related in their pictures, if there's like, if they've done like a particular Halloween costume or something along those lines. See if there's something you can say about something along those lines. If not, it is always great to have an opener that gives someone like options to choose from and explain why.
Okay.
So it can be anything ranging from like, hey, what's your favorite like meal kind of thing, or breakfast food or something like that. Spruce it up a little bit and then have like a retort to it. So if someone gets back to you being like, I love baked goods or something along those lines, then you want to be humorous enough to just be like, all right, now I know where to take you out on our first date.
Yeah, I mean, I've never baked, so, I'm definitely going to have to take them out for some baked goods.
That's perfectly fine. I can cook really well. I can't bake for shit. Like, I'll probably burn something down every time I try to do it.
If they want frozen Trader Joe's food, like, that's my specialty. Like, you want some of that, fried rice, $3 fried rice from Trader Joe's, then you should hit me up, because I can make that pretty good. But anything else, like raw chicken, don't even put raw chicken near me. Like, if you want salmonella, I'm your man. If you don't want salmonella, then don't let me cook you chicken, because it's gonna be a bad time. Let's just say that.
Salmonella chicken man.
Yeah, pasta alla salmonella. That's actually my specialty, but they'd have to wait a few dates to discover that anyway.
And then you obviously have the third part, which
Yeah.
is the most important part. You can get a conversation started, you can get a reply, but you want to keep it going. And that's why you kind of have to think ahead with whatever your opener is going to be. It's usually pretty good to like look into the idea of like what that person might be into using just like what you have from their profile.
Yeah, like the pictures and
Yeah, it's a big like reading game, and it's a big like figuring out the personality of the person or something along those lines. Like at the end of the day, it's also like a thing about how long you've been on these apps actually starts affecting how you start conversing with people. Like if you're,
yeah,
you can be a fucking prodigy, you can just start on the apps and then you've figured out everything that you need to figure out, or it can take you like 6, 8, 10 months, like it took me, or before you actually start understanding like, hey, maybe
there's
someone
certain dynamics.
yeah, there's like it's a complex thing, it's a complex world, like just in terms of the fact that like people's interests can wane super fast.
Yeah,
And it is really hard to like actually judge what someone might be interested in off of the very minimal, like it's like trying to summarize like what someone's conversation, how are you going to get a conversation that's going to lead to someone meeting you off of like maybe 150 words, 160 words, and like 6 pictures.
I mean, it's funny because there's some guys that are like definitely pros at this. Like you'll have that one friend that's been single for a while, and they'll just like already know how to like master Tinder essentially. They're like, yeah, messaging like 15 people at the same time simultaneously with like one finger while I'm like upside down. I'm like, oh, that's I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like that's good for you. But I guess the whole dating scene has definitely changed. The last time I was using these apps was a few years ago. Then when I came back, essentially so many people are meeting on these apps, and it doesn't have that stigma anymore that it used to have, where I'm scared to tell people that I met on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble, whatever app it may be. So I honestly think that's pretty good, and now I think it's just all about kind of getting out there, practicing, just like trying to master your use of these apps. Because obviously at first, like my first bio, like a month and a half ago or whatever, was honestly just like pure garbage. It was legit disgusting. Like I almost I got nauseous reading my own bio. So I definitely had to change that. But it's all these little incremental steps where everyone learns. But actually, I wanted to ask you the next question. So
Oh shit, I don't know about this question. Let's go.
yeah, so a lot of people actually don't know which app to use. Like I've talked to a lot of friends. Obviously Hinge is in right now. People like Hinge just because they feel like they could learn more about a person. They could like something specific about a person,
Yeah.
and they feel that it'll lead to a lot more of a wholesome, connection when you initially meet up with that person. Versus, everyone has a Tinder. Doesn't mean everyone uses it, but there's probably a lot more users on Tinder than almost any other, dating app essentially.
Tinder outshines its next competitor by like 30, 40 million.
Yeah. So, what do you suggest in terms of the apps, or maybe if you're looking for a certain something, maybe you should use one app over the other.
Again, professing this by saying like we're not sponsored by Hinge, but Hinge is honestly one of my top apps that I have had to deal with in a while. Like it's one of those apps that like over the time when I've like deleted other apps or taken out other apps and just been like, yeah, this is kind of shit. I'm not gonna really keep it on my phone anymore. Hinge has been that like one consistent thing that I've kind of still kept. It's not going to be as popular or not as poppin' as like you would expect. I don't know, something along the lines of like Tinder to be or something like that. But at least in my experience as just like average dude kind of thing, it is just like a great way to actually get a conversation started. It also lets you figure out just pretty quickly whether you are like even generally interested in meeting that person in real life or not. Like sometimes you can look at a person's bio and be like, oh, this is great, and the person's pictures also, you're just like, oh, this person's cute, and I'm like really into it. And then you start a conversation, and then it's like, oh fuck, I'm talking to a brick wall. So like it's like it's much harder to do that off of other apps where you don't have the material, because then you'll just be like, hey, this is probably just because like we don't have a lot to like talk through, because there's nothing relevant that we can really delve into.
Yeah.
But then you have something like Hinge where you can literally have paragraphs of data about someone where they're just like, this is the best trip I went on. This is my favorite thing to do.
You can tell a lot about them.
Exactly. Like you generally, like apart from their job and like, whatever else, like whatever their interests are and stuff like that, you obviously always have their prompts.
So
I don't know. It's easier. It's nicer. It's not as. It's also not as commercialized. That's one of the biggest things. That's been my biggest grievance with like Tinder and Bumble and stuff like that, where they blew up in 2013, 2014, but over time they've turned to way more of a business end of things. And I kind of like to say that like after like Tinder was bought by Match, it completely went through the shithole.
Yeah, I mean, there's a business in everything, you know, especially with these dating apps.
Especially when you're a monopolistic dating app.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they see they see a way to profit, and of course they're going to try to do that.
I think Tinder had something along the lines of like 14 or 15 billion dollars in revenue.
Wow.
Tinder makes a lot of money. Like actually I might be completely wrong. It might be like 100 million, but let's take a look.
I'd say it's probably a few hundred million, just based on my guess. 4.1 million paying users, expects 800 million in revenue.
805 million, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry. 800,
Wow.
almost $1 billion company off of the fact that people just are just like
it's awesome. Good for them.
Like,
good for them. I mean,
yeah, it's got over 100 million people on it, I think, and it like beats out the next competitor by a huge chunk. So it's like I like to classify as like Tinder is just a Comcast of dating apps. And then,
that's a good comparison. I see that. Yeah.
And then like Hinge is like the Starry, which is the internet company that I have. Like it's fucking amazing.
You mean it's like, you know, one of those specialty, nice, luxury feeling kind of apps, right?
No, it's more like it's, you know, it's like one of the things I really liked about Starry was that if my internet ever went down, they would be there like almost immediately. They're just like, oh shit, we see that your internet's down because they're tracking it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna like get started on it right away.
I mean, at Comcast, they're glad if your internet probably goes down. They're like, awesome.
Like, awesome, we'll mooch off like $20 more from you.
Yeah, I love Comcast. But actually, what I was gonna show you right now is just do a quick comparison of me right now looking on Tinder versus Hinge, just to tell you what kind of information I get. So right now I'm looking at a person. They actually wrote quite a lot.
Don't dox them. Don't dox them.
No, I'm not gonna make fun of this person. I'm actually gonna tell you what I'm getting. They actually wrote they love baseball, sarcasm, conversations, etc. And you know, then you see these pictures of them. Okay, so I can't really tell from any of these pictures what they like, so that's all right. And then I immediately go into Hinge, and you know, you see you see a picture, social cause I care about, which is honestly something that's pretty deep to just put on your dating profile, but it works. You instantly see what's, you know, their height, age, what school they go to, if they like to, you know, if they drink or if they smoke cigarettes, whatever that may be, religion, all that stuff. Another prompt, if I still had AIM, my away message would be, and then give me travel tips. So immediately just looking at this profile just for a few seconds.
This person comes off as like weirdly spiritual.
Yeah, you can just tell all these things about this person.
Yeah.
Where they're from, height, everything. So it gives you a good sense of the person just within looking at it for like a few seconds. So I could definitely see like the appeal. Even their Instagram is connected to the bottom, which is crazy. But yeah, no, so that's pretty cool. And then, you know, there's also Bumble, you know, the player that no one's really talking about. You said Bumble's more of a ghost town now, right?
Bumble's for the longest time has been somewhat of a ghost town because Bumble, from what I've seen happen through just like people that I know that have Bumble accounts, is you may take Bumble off your phone, but Bumble never really deletes your profile off their apps.
Yeah.
So you just have a lot of profiles that are popping up that have never really been used.
Yeah, and I think Hinge kind of pushed Bumble out of the way because the good thing that, you know, people used to like about Bumble and they used to praise it for is, okay, you see, someone likes to go to the gym. You could see if they're in college.
That's all a new addition. That wasn't there before.
Oh, that wasn't even there before?
Nope.
I mean, okay, wow. So now they're really useless. Because you see, like, okay, you see this person's height, whatever. But it's essentially like, it's kind of like Tinder, but I honestly use Tinder over Bumble because at least on Tinder, you know, there's people using that versus Bumble. It doesn't really look like anyone's using that, so... Or maybe it's just me. Yeah, but I'm definitely sticking to the other two.
That is literally the end-all, be-all of all conversations about dating apps, is that you can have this fucking detailed analysis of the entire dating app industry.
Yeah.
Or you could just end it with, or maybe it's just me.
Yeah. It's like, maybe someone out there right now is getting 1,000 matches on Bumble, right? But it's okay. We'll see what happens.
All right.
That's what dating apps is for.
We are at close to the 20-minute mark now. We could call this a really short episode.
Yeah, I mean...
And put it out, or... I don't know. I'm also writing I've been talking about it for a while, but I've been writing a paper on... or not a paper, an article on the connection between like the growth of dating apps and the fall of romantic comedy movies.
I mean that does make sense.
And so that will be up on my website at some point before July starts. So in the next like 6 to 7 days.
Wow.
But yeah, that's all I really have to contribute. This is gonna be a short and sweet episode. This was just like a random topic that we thought of and thought it would be a good way to like bring in season 3.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to talk about things that no one really is necessarily going to talk about. No one's going to go out there and necessarily talk 100% about their experience on these dating apps. Some people are going to lie. They're going to say, oh, you know, I'm doing so great on these apps. Other people just don't feel like talking about it. I mean, we're telling you the truth right here. We're just trying to take a look at them. Obviously, you know, there's always room for improvement in everything in life, including in my profile on Tinder and Hinge and Bumble. So... that yeah, but
I mean, I've had these apps for a while, and I can promise you that like there's a lot of shit that I need to improve on as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've had them for like about a little less than 2 months now, but I think I'm slowly getting there. We'll see what happens. But yeah, no, this was a great episode. I'm glad we talked about this. It's fun.
Hope you guys enjoy this. Please don't roast us for this episode.
Please like, don't. It'll make me cry, please.
Our self-esteem's anyway in the shitter, so don't make it worse. And that's going to be it from all of us. This is Kush. Ori, you want to give us a little sign-out message? You got anything on your mind?
Maybe. Yeah, but honestly, this was fun. I really enjoyed this. I want to come back for another episode.
Definitely glad to have you back, man.
And hopefully, if you listened all the way to the, at this, next time if you listen all the way in at this point, I'm probably just gonna throw out like a free. I'm gonna throw out my credit card number because you deserve that. If you listen all the way in at this point, I'm gonna give you my credit card number. So that's how I'll know if people actually reach the end. If no one's using my credit card, then there's gonna be a problem. So let's do that next time.
I'm not giving my fucking credit card number to anyone. This is just all on Uri. This is it. See you guys.
Peace.
Bye.